Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Talk. Well, today's guest is she's a let's see now a singer, an entertainer, and a teacher from Hamilton, Ontario. Joan Ballantyne. Welcome to the show.
Oh, hi, Nancy. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure for sure. I was just reading through a bit of your bio on Facebook, and I just realized that you're from Burlington.
Yes, I grew
And
up in Burlington. I'm an immigrant, actually. I'm originally from Scotland, and then we settled into Burlington, and that's where I grew up.
oh, right, yeah, I lived there for from 1981 to 1994, actually.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was in town then the same time.
So anyway, let's get into your performing. You're, as I said, you're a singer. What style of singing do you do?
I do all genres. So being raised, I was raised in a church, so I was in church choir and learned a lot of music through my organist and my choir director, and she ended up becoming my vocal teacher. So I took classical voice, and
Okay.
then I segued and went to Sheridan College and took performance Broadway music theater.
Hmm.
And then I left Sheridan and I went on to Humber College, where I majored in jazz orchestration and vocal jazz. So I've kind of done all ends of the rainbow. And of course, I did work with Treehouse TV personalities. I traveled right across Canada writing shows for Blues Clues, Strawberry Shortcake, Fisher Price, Little People, and so on. Yeah. So kind
Oh.
of touched on it all, I think.
And you also worked on a cruise line at one time, right?
Yes. So when I left Humber, I got the opportunity to be a headliner. At the time, I was the youngest headliner ever signed by a contract by a cruise ship. I was 23. Had my own show, 2 40-minute shows a week, couple of shows, welcome aboard, couple of songs, farewell night. And I worked with actually another colleague from Burlington, a singer named Frank Rondell, who you may be familiar with, and he was the male vocalist. So that was exciting. At a young age to travel all over the world. And
Yeah.
then I did celebrity cruise lines after that as well. My last tour, I did a circumvent of South America.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that sounds so exciting, actually.
Yeah, it was good pre-children. You can't really you can't really cruise when you've had kids.
I
So, but there's always retirement, right?
That's right. Yeah. So it's good to get those things, get all of that wonderful experience, right?
Mhm. It was excellent, and it introduced me to a lot of different types of music as well, because I was traveling all over the world and kind of baptism by fire, learning how to just go and do a show on a ship, and you've never been on the ocean before. So it was, yeah, it was crazy, but I learned a lot, but it was a wonderful experience. I'm really glad I did it.
Yeah, that sounds lovely, actually. So now you also used to teach dance and drama and music.
Yes, I was hired by a woman named Pat Goff in Hamilton. She hired a bunch of us artists and made us kind of like artists in the classroom. And I've done a lot of different teaching, but this was the most recent that I would consider to be a really neat experience in itself. There was probably about 20 of us, guitar players, musicians, singers, dancers, and all of that. And we wrote collectively with her guidance, mostly her, but of course us contributing, a program called Arts Around.
Okay.
And we taught literacy in the Hamilton Catholic schools and Hamilton public school system through dance, music, and drama.
Wow.
So they would live the experience of the grade 5 lesson plan of the railway being built out in Vancouver and what happened to the people. And it's part of our education in grade 5, but it was introducing them to the music and the dance and how they would feel for the visual learner as well as the academic learner. So it was a wonderful program. I taught in 27 different schools.
Wow. What a great way to learn. Oh,
Yeah, fabulous. Because everyone from, somebody who has got some issues with socialization, or people who are more introverted, or people who are more extroverted. With music and dance combined with a lesson plan, it was more about experiencing touch and feeling than
yeah,
sit down, be quiet, you know,
yeah.
like we would put the xylophones down and tell them to take what we call the burgers and the fries off, which is your B note and your F note. You have a pentatonic scale. So we just say, play. and you got 20 kids playing, and it all sounds beautiful.
Mm.
And then it gives them the confidence so we can move forward with the literacy part of it integrated with the music. It's a
Wow,
great concept, and I do believe is still being taught by itinerant teachers within the Hamilton School Board. So
fabulous.
I only teach private now.
Oh, okay. But do you ever hear back from any of those students that you taught at that time?
Yes, multiple actually. And one of my students I have, he comes on a Monday. I started teaching him during COVID through Zoom. And we didn't discover until all these years later now. I teach him now and his daughter. They come together as a group lesson. They live in a farm. So sometimes he brings his other kids because they want to go to Joan's farm, and they may go into the singing lesson with dad. They may not, but so they'll go and visit my goats or my chickens or my ducks. So I still try to keep that. The music lesson experience is about confidence and warmth and feeling. So it's right in my open living room. And yeah, so it's a great thing. I kind of segued out of that, but so that fellow, as we were talking, ended up, I taught his sister when she was like 15 or 16. He's in his 40s now. And this is now her niece that I'm teaching. So I've taught people who I taught who have had children, and now I teach their kids. So it's
Wow.
yeah, it's great. And
Yeah.
that's the nice part about living in, like, I'm in a farm community. I'm in Dundas area
Okay.
of Hamilton, but up in Flamborough. I'm on 4 acres. So I still get that country, and I get to bring the kids out to that and have them experience that too. It just gives a different feel to the lesson. It's not so rigid,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. I would
Yeah.
have loved the idea if they had anything like that when I went to school. No, what about your own children? Are they into the music at all?
Well, I have several children, and we have a blended family.
Okay.
So in all, between my husband and I, we had 6 children.
Mhm.
Our eldest is our angel daughter. We lost her a few years past,
Oh, sorry to hear.
but she blessed us with 2 children, and then her partner got our son-in-law got remarried, and they have 2 kids, so we consider them our grandchildren too. But then Randy had 3 other daughters. So, and then I have my daughter, and we have one boy, our son, who's he's in anthropology at McMaster. He's working as an archaeologist at the moment this summer. So big, vast. My daughter, our second youngest, she did Theater Sheridan, and she did music, and she's very good at the musical experience too. And not doing it as a career, but she still does it. And I put my husband in shows. I put my child in. My children said when they grew up, they did not realize that they weren't required to sing in front of schools and big, events. I just put them up there and made them do Christmas tree lightings, and because I do the Dundas Christmas tree lighting.
Oh,
Um, and I get my students up there and everything. Last year was my 26th year hosting it.
wow. Very
And
good.
it's the longest Christmas tree lighting ceremony in Canada.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so I get a lot of these, I get a lot of generations coming back for sure. It's a wonderful thing. That's a nice thing about being in a community, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Very
Hmm.
good. Oh my goodness. It all sounds really, really wonderful and exciting. And I'm almost excited for the children, you know?
Yeah. Well, I have 13 grandchildren already, and we still have 2 kids living at home. So it's nice to have the farm, but
Yeah.
yeah, we play, I play with them about my music. We always do guess those Christmas songs on Christmas Eve in front of the YouTube. And some of them argue that they have to be on Gammy Jones' team because she knows all the Christmas songs.
I love it.
And I do.
No, no, personally, for you personally, are you still out there performing? Like, do you go to,
Yes, I am. Yeah, I COVID really put a dent into the performance world for a lot of us
yeah.
because live venues cut back, and a couple of people I worked with also retired in that time. So a couple of theaters and things that I was doing kind of segued out of it. There was a lot of change
Mm.
in that end of things. I've gone back into doing like small restaurants, bistros, singing dinner, which I love doing because I mean I can sing the Billy Joel songbook if I feel like it that night because it's that kind of genre, and it's nice to do something like that where you can play with that kind of music and just do all different flavors. And I sing in a lot of retirement residences.
Yeah.
To me, I've been doing that since I've been in my 20s,
Right.
and I go in and I do it like it's a cabaret show. I give it my all. I go into my cardio zone, and I love doing that. So I do that. There's about 4 homes that I work at, and I do pretty regularly, about once every month or 6 weeks
Nice.
at
Yeah.
each home. Yeah, so lots of other things coming. There's always different, you got to move with your world and what's going on in the business, right?
Yeah.
And I've never been a big bar band singer because I was always doing stuff that was more corporate and like the
Mhm.
cruises and things like that. So, but yes, still
Yeah.
busy. I just sang last week, so
Very
I have
good.
another show coming up next week.
Do you book your own gigs or do you have somebody do that for you?
Not, it's all word of mouth. People, I've been working for a couple of these places for 15, 20 years, right?
Ah,
So,
yeah. And there's
I
the
think I have a,
wonderful, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was just going to say the wonderful thing about music, it touches everybody in some way or form, right?
Yes, yes, for sure. Well, I just returned from Cuba. We go there once a year to
Okay.
holiday. And we like going in July because it's quiet and the beach in Cayo Santa Maria is so beautiful. It's just, I don't even read when I'm on the beach. I just take it all in, right?
Mm,
But the musicians down there are fabulous. And that was our 14th visit that we just returned from
okay.
in July. So, but I sing with the musicians down there. They always, they know I'm coming. So there's a violinist that I sing with, and there's a guitar player. So it's
Wow.
really neat to be able to go where you have even a language separation, but
Yeah.
we come together with music. When I say, "Do you know Joni Mitchell?" And oh yeah, I know that. And here you are collaborating with Roberto in Cuba just because music brought us together,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And yeah, so that's the musical experience when you have that joy and you love it,
Hmm.
that you're doing the right job for you,
Yeah.
right? It's not just about the size of the venue or anything like that. It's like
Yeah.
it's about, am I feeling joy, and is the person receiving that joy when I'm singing, and are they understanding I'm singing? That's how I sing.
Yeah, well, it makes sense to me, I used to,
Yeah.
I've done improv and stand up and stuff, so I understand that,
Yeah.
it's your
Yeah.
audience could be 5 people or it could be 500 people. Like there's no really difference.
Exactly. It doesn't matter because it's about what you're doing, not the how happens because you do it with your heart. The rest, it
Mm.
just happens, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so now let's see. I'm just trying to look up more on your Facebook page to see
Oh,
else what we haven't touched on, if there has
yeah.
something. So we talked about you being a singer, an entertainer, and a teacher. Did I ask you, do you play any musical instruments?
I wish I could,
Oh,
but I was in Burlington Teen Tour Band
oh,
since I was a
oh,
wee tyke. Like I did Peanut Band way back, and way back when the 70s. I'm going back. I
yeah.
played clarinet then, and then when I went to Teen Tour Band, I played xylophone,
No,
and I used to play a very effective ukulele.
no, I know that
But
the Burlington Teen Band, they're famous.
they are. Yeah, they're a wonderful group. And my friend Jeff Tomlinson, who I was in band with all those years ago, he just took over as the new director. So I'm
Right,
super happy for him. They couldn't have picked a better person. But
right.
yeah, it was 250 kids traveling together.
That's,
Every Wednesday night I was at the music center from 6:30 on. And winter, summer, spring, fall, doesn't matter what the weather was, we were out there marching and
yeah.
playing our instruments, sometimes inside as well because we'd get loud, but always on the weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays, up at the music center in Burlington. 250 kids out there with instruments playing Strike Up the Band. It was a great experience too. Like
Well,
my musical experiences have been very, very different. Nothing I can say is exactly the same, right?
right, yeah. I used to go and listen to them actually when they were, and
Did you?
yeah, absolutely. I loved it so much, It's pretty
Well,
cool.
you know exactly where I'm talking about then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a person who loves drums more than anything because they just sort of go right inside your being,
Yeah.
So when they get those
Absolutely.
big drums going, it's like, oh, yes.
My brother was drum major for them when he was in it too, because I got into teen tour band and I felt it gave me a place that I fit. I
Mm,
didn't feel like I fit in high school. I
right.
felt like a misfit. I felt like, you know,
Yeah,
that I wasn't part of the popular group. And I don't even know if I wanted to be either. But, you know,
mm,
it's for every child navigating through high school is a different experience.
for sure.
No child has the same experience, right?
Yeah.
But when I got involved with Teen Tour Band, and I was very involved with Burlington Little Theater, as well. I always did their children's show every year. I
Mm,
was on the cover of many Burlington Posts dressed in costumes that I kind of didn't
no.
want them to be on the front of the Burlington Post. But they, I mean, Pinocchio in grade 12, that was a stretch.
Oh
It
my
didn't
God.
help my popularity index.
Right. Well, we're just,
But no, Teen Tour Band provided that community. Teen Tour Band is a fabulous community,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's working towards a common goal with 250 other kids, and you have to be in line and precision all at the same time.
Mm,
It's very military, but very bonding. I learned about discipline.
right.
Yeah,
It's a good way to keep kids like from going in the bad, going down the bad road, sorry,
for
anything like
sure.
that, where you join this team and you become a family. I think it's
Yes, exactly. And it doesn't have to be team sports. It can be any
no,
kind of team, right?
mhm,
Anything that you're working positively together on, which was also the kind of concept we had with the teaching program, is that we're all working towards this goal of getting to the end of this lesson together rather than all separated, right?
right, yeah, yeah,
So
it's pretty
I don't
cool.
know. You
Yeah,
kind of grow into, I think musical people tend to be that way in as a rule,
yeah,
because they need to know what's happening on this side and this side, not just what's happening right there.
for sure, yeah. Oh my gosh, this has been so enjoyable. I really enjoyed it, like I just pick up on people's enthusiasm, it's just
Well, I'm very flattered that you asked me to have a chat with you today. I appreciate that.
thank you. Just one thing before we go. Now, people can reach you. You have through match music by Joan@gmail.com, right?
Yeah.
People
Music by
can
Joan at gmail.com, and they can reach me through Facebook too.
for sure. Okay. Well, thanks
Yeah,
for doing this. This has been
no
great.
problem.
And just
Thank
down,
you.
you're welcome. Just stay on camera for a second. To the audience, you listen to Joan Ballantyne, musician, singer, entertainer, teacher, and I'm gonna put her link there. So if you want to get a hold of her or even find out what all of the things that she does, just in case you didn't hear it all, because it's so fantastic. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you continue to do so. Take care and peace out. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna check and tell you when this is gonna air.
Hmm.
Anyway, this has been so much fun. Thank you.
Oh, you're happy with it, I hope.
Oh my God, are you kidding? I loved it. I loved it. Should air the 26th, 4,
Okay.
4 o'clock my time. And once it airs, I'll send you the link, okay?
Okay, great. And I'll post it, share it.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Nancy. You take care.
Bye-bye. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.